Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. I'm in Nashville at Mohawk's Edge meeting, and I'm with Jeff Meadows, the president of sales and residential. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's good to be with you. You've been busy this morning. First, congratulations. Noticed yesterday you celebrated an anniversary yesterday.
That's right. Me and my wife, 4 years yesterday. So Joanna and I, she's not here this week, but we're going to do a little celebrating next week on a little trip.
Great. So I want to talk to you about what Edge is and a little bit of details about it. But first, let's just ask, how's business doing?
Business is still holding up at a pretty decent level. Obviously, it slowed down a little, but if you look at the business today off of a record year last year that I think most people had, if you said this was going to be a recession, we would take it because we're still up this year in our business. But I think it has slowed down a little bit, but I would tell you the tickets are still very high. That consumer's still spending money, so there's still some things we see that's actually pretty positive.
With employment levels where they are, if it wasn't for the feds doing this move with interest rates, we'd probably be smooth sailing here. So most people, and I know that Paul DeCock was in Floor Focus's Executive Outlook, and he said, we're going to have a little bit of a dip next year, but it's probably not going to be prolonged, right?
That's what I would say. I think the key one is to keep looking at employment, because otherwise I think everything else will fall back in line. I noticed today that the CPI actually dropped again. So that was coming down. So if employment stays good, then I think it will be a small dip.
Okay. All right, so let's get to Edge. You launched this initially in 2018. This is the second meeting of Edge. Tell us what it is.
Yeah, so we've changed it a lot, over the last 4 years. And, of course, for the last 2 years, no one needed much of an Edge because they were so busy. So we've changed it, and we've really turned it into what I would call a partnership loyalty program. There's not any exclusions anymore. It's just really how much business that you give Mohawk. You earn additional incentives, rebate incentives, other incentives on consumer buy downs and things like that, concierge services. And I think the more business you give us, we made it very easy for our customers. You'll fall into one of these three buckets, and there's just more benefit the more volume you give us. We made it very, very simple.
I remember when you first rolled it out, you were trying to, correct a mix issue
Right.
you had out there, and you've taken all those parameters out of it.
Yeah,
right?
we first rolled it out in 2018. We wanted people to give us at least 30% of their growth in hard surface, and we had all these stipulations, and we said, hey, it's too confusing for the customers. Let's make it more simple. And we've thrown a lot of other products in there. We were excluding accessories and cushion, and now all that's in there. So it's just whatever they buy. Main Street Commercial wasn't in there at one point. Now that's in there. And so I think they like it because it's really, really simple now.
So it's an opportunity to earn additional co-op dollars, depending on what level you are. But also, at a certain level, there's a rebate back. Right?
Yeah. At every tier, there's additional rebates, 1, 2, or 3, depending on your volume levels. The co-op, as you mentioned, depending on your tier, is 2, 4, 6%. So it's a lot of money. And we really want the customer to make a choice, give us more business, but we help them at the same time if they do.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that, you went from the old Colorscapes, I guess it was more of a line dealers program to inviting this to anybody who wants to come to it. And one of the comments I've heard today is that you want to fish where the fish are, right?
That's right. So, if you go back 30 years, you had Color Center, you had Floorscape dealers, and as the business has evolved, right, there's more online searching, more online studying of products and so forth. I think what we're trying to do is get rid of less labels so it's easier to send the consumer where she wants to go and match it up. So our Floorscape and Color Center dealers will still have access to a private label, but it'll be one. So it'll be easy to cross over for them, for the consumer. So, we've tried to make that much simpler as we move forward.
You spoke from the stage this morning, and you talked about a couple of points that I want the audience to hear here about why you think there's a lot of opportunity out there right now. Tell us what those are.
Right. So regardless of how deep or long this recession would be, which we obviously don't know, but we don't think it'll be much. But if you just look at the outlook for flooring, it's never been better. So you think about it. So this year, for the first time in American history, half our homes of the 130 million we have hit 40 years old. So there's going to be a lot of renovation going on in those places. Think about what's happened with the housing. So we've had the housing values raised 30% over the last 3 years, and they slowed down a little bit the last 2 or 3 months, but they're up 30% still. Well, that's $9 trillion of home equity that's out there. Then people think, well, these mortgage rates are going to kill, this and that. 40% of the people in American homes, they don't have a mortgage at all. And then you think about, Kemp, in 2007 and 8, when we had a really bad crash of flooring, we were way overbuilt on houses. We still need 5 million houses today. So there's a high demand. So you look at all those things together, and flooring, the outlook for it's going to be great for foreseeable future and beyond.
One of the things I learned today in going through and talking to several people here is that you guys have hired a new person who's really focused on consumer research. And I applaud it because, you're only as smart as what the market tells you. So you're putting some focus on learning what the consumer's thinking, and it's going to help you actually serve your dealer, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the consumer is moving very rapidly in this new environment. Everyone used to go shopping. They used to go to a store. They like spending time. Now they're all doing it from home. You have to understand what she's thinking, what's motivating that consumer. And then we can pass along what the buying habits are changing with the different X's and Y's, all that's happening. So a lot of them, they still want to buy from a local dealer, but they might want to just really order it online and pick it up at the store. Just something that simple where the local dealer is still right there, but things are changing. You just need to know all the things what's happening with that consumer. So we're investing quite a bit of money in it.
One of the facts you threw out based on this research is that the millennial, over 50% of them own a home, and the home's over 20 years old, so they're needing to update it, right?
No doubt. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of renovation there.
All right, let's talk about one of the things that we all are keyed in nowadays are digital tools. And in the last Edge meeting, you rolled out Omnify, and at this one, you're rolling out Omnify Plus. Tell us the differences there.
Yeah, so what we decided to do, so we've always had a good partner in Omnify. We've had, and our dealers have had it for a long time. And then we had an opportunity to do another partner, which is Roomvo, and they have some new technology. Of course, they got the best room visualizer on the planet in the industry. And so we've just kind of created what I would say sort of a technology race to whatever our dealer would like. So one may have different benefits from the other, but at the end of the day, as I said from the stage, we want dealers to make their own choice. What's best for them? If they want to stay with Omnify, we're 100% behind that. At the same time, if they want to see something new, they got something different, we're going to expose them to that as well. So that's really all we're doing, and we're going to let the dealer choose whichever one's best for them.
You started out today with Jeffrey Loberbaum on stage. He's 68 years old. He did a damn good job, didn't he?
You know what? He looked pretty relaxed out there, I thought. I was watching him from behind the curtain on the screen, but I thought he did a great job, yeah.
All right, so is everyone in management pleased with the turnout you have here?
Yeah, it was interesting. So what we did this year is we said we're going to do 350 dealers here. We said, okay, that's not people, that's just customers. So we had that kind of locked down by about October, and then the last 2 months we've had another 75 dealers say, hey, will you let me come? So we moved some of our folks to a different hotel, so we had to make some room for them here at the Gaylord, but we ended up with about 425 dealers overall, so we're very pleased.
It looks like the NFA's having a sub-meeting.
I think they are. A lot of familiar faces.
Exactly. Jeff, great to spend time with you. Again, been talking to Jeff Meadows, the president of sales for Mohawk's residential business, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.